Hey, what's up, guys? It's time for Last Call, your primetime preview here on WagerTalk. Got a great show today. I'm going to have Prez jumping in and then Tom Viola. We're going to be talking this Monday night football game. We are wrapping up week 15 here as the Miami Dolphins take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, open up your odds logic pages. Make sure you shop these lines with us. Always want to get the best of the numbers. And in that live chat, you guys, drop your questions, drop your comments. We want to hear what you have in this Monday night football game. Any questions you have for the Prez, any questions you have for Tom. We want to hear it. We want to get to the bottom, go through this whole game, everything that we're liking out there. But seeing you guys are jumping in, all the new members, great to see you here today. J-Dog, it's great to see you, as well as Rob G. Funk. You guys, it's great. All those comments coming in. I'm seeing J-Dog with Miami Steelers over 39.5, -130. You got that on Thursday. That's a really good number. We're looking at a total. We're seeing a total in this one. 42 was a look ahead. We're seeing 42.5, 43 out there. Now, one big thing to know, the Pittsburgh Steelers are without TJ Watt. The Steelers without TJ Watt, wow, they have struggled over the years. It's really shocking to dive into the numbers and see that he's really only missed 11 games. In those 11 games, the Steelers, it looks like they've only won one game without TJ Watt on the field. There are still a 3.5 point favorite. So the look at lines on this one was that solid 3. We're seeing 3.5s jumping out there on Caesars, on Hard Rock as well for that 3.5. Now you can still get a solid 3. You're going to be looking at DraftKings, BetMGM, Sports 411. Pinnacle for that 3. So shop those lines definitely depending on which way you want to go. I want to hear in the live chat before we get the Prez in here, which side of this you're liking. If you're willing to lay the 3 here with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football at home, Mike Tomlin's normally a great underdog. Can he cover this one here at home with Aaron Rodgers? Meaningful game for both of these teams out there, or are you rolling with the Miami Dolphins? Do you think the Dolphins can get things done? And again, that total is sitting right on that 42.5, 43. So let's bring the Prez in. Let's see what he is liking tonight. You guys make sure you drop your questions in the comments here. Prez?
Hey, Joe, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for joining us here. I know you're out there on the road, so we'll make it quick for you. What are you liking in this Monday Night Football game?
Well, this to me is really typical. We've seen this a lot lately, going back to Houston, going into Kansas City, the sort of false favorite narrative. We saw the Chargers yesterday. Why would the Chargers? Why was Denver, 10 wins in a row? Why were they favored? And here we've got a scenario that I think is somewhat similar. I don't buy into this Pittsburgh Steelers team at all. And it's not like I'm sitting here going to say, oh, well, the Miami Dolphins are world beaters. No, they're not. But this is a team that's won 4 in a row. The word out of the locker room is everything's positive. Mike McDaniels is going to remain, there. New York Jets, New Orleans, Washington, Buffalo. And you look at this Pittsburgh team, and they beat Baltimore last week. Then they lost to Buffalo. They lost to Chicago. They lost to the Chargers. I mean, they've lost 5 of 8, 2 of 3. They got injuries galore. I'm looking at taking the points here, but the problem ultimately is we missed the number. And there was a 3.5 out there for 7 days. And now it's -3. There is a couple of 3.5 still lurking around, Caesars, etc. I'm not supposed to be mentioning names of places. So what was that? Remember when Caesar was in Spartacus? Spartacus season 1, though. Spartacus season 1 was a masterpiece. We're all people out there. That might be the greatest season in the history of television.
Okay, we like what you're laying down there. What are you thinking, though? Like, if you're willing to take Miami plus the points, you got to think money line sprinkle as well, Prez?
No,
No?
no. There's no like, and the thing about it for me, Joe, is I'm not a greedy bettor, right? Like you,
Yeah.
you put $100 down on Miami +3, and it covers, and you win $91. That's like 91% return in 3.5 hours. I just don't. Thank you, Devil Dog. I just don't know why you would need to make more money than that. Like it's like this is a slow grind. You know, we try to make a small amount of money every day, every week, every month. There's just no reason to sit there and say, "Oh, yay! Oh, I'm the master bettor of all time. I figured them out at +152, at +154." Now, with that said, if you're going to make a 3% bet, let's say, and you want to do 2% on the spread and 1% on the money line, okay.
Yeah, that would be a nice way to do it. What do you think of Devil Dog's question here about Tua in the cold? We know Tua does have that stigma playing in the cold. He went into New York and he looked fine there. How's Pittsburgh weather going to treat him?
So pull away from Tua for a second. This is a warm weather team. So the whole team is coming from Miami, not just Tua. And historically, they don't do well. It's just a historical fact that teams like Miami heading into Buffalo in December, even with Dan Marino, Ryan Tannehill, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They don't tend to do well. With that said, we did see Tua do well last week against the New York Jets. Is that more a reflection of the New York Jets? Likely. I don't think Tua's cold weather narrative is any worse or better than, the next guys in the same situation. I think he's now 1-7, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, I believe he is for sure.
That's not even a big enough sample size for me to care.
Yeah, it's not a huge sample size at all. Okay, with TJ Watt out of the lineup here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's huge for their defense. What do you think we're going to see out of Tua and this offense? Do you think they're going to lean on the run game? Do you think it's going to be more of a pass-heavy game? What are you thinking with TJ Watt out of the equation?
So if TJ Watt was going to miss any game this year, this would be the game to miss because he's an edge rusher and he's not a run stopper. And there's, for me to sit there and say, oh, this is the game that Tua is going to finally throw the ball. No, it's just not the game that Tua is finally going to throw the ball. Let's look at last week. Miami goes into New York. They had 23 first downs. They had 239 rush yards. They rushed the ball 41 times. They had 119 passing yards. Why would I expect this week to be any different to last week? I think they are going to. Hello, Larry Hart. Lots of love, Larry. Really awesome. Nice to have you with us. They are going to run the ball 2 out of 3 plays, and nothing is going to change. And TJ Watt being out will have much less of an impact than many would have thought. Obviously, on 3rd and long, missing TJ Watt's going to be a very big deal. But if you're running the ball on the first 2 plays, you're never going to be 3rd and long. You're going to be 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 anyway. So I don't really factor that in much to the equation here. I think both teams are going to run the ball. I think that Aaron Rodgers, or whoever is quarterback in the moment, is going to throw 6-yard outs. I think we're going to see a low-scoring game, Joe.
Okay, so we missed you on End Zone this Sunday. Teddy Covers was hosting that. It was a lot of fun. You'll be back next week, I'm sure, but live betting in this one. We've got Bill Sandoval saying Miami starts off fast, disappears in the second half. If we see that, would you be live betting this one tonight, Prez?
So I'm always interested in live betting, period. But I do want to say, and Bill, obviously lots of love, these guys, Bill and Larry and all of these guys, I see their names every day. They're in my life as far as I'm concerned. But I would not focus on that type of narrative. Like, I'm not interested in that type of narrative, Joe. Yeah. I can't say for a fact that Miami starts out fast and disappears in the second half. I know that we as bettors tend to get sucked into impressions that we hold too long. Why the hell was Kansas City -6 against the LA Chargers?
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
A week ago, they lost to Houston. I understand that we can't let go of our impressions, and I get it. I don't know that that's a fact. It certainly would not factor into what I'm trying to do when I in-game bet is I'm trying to get better than the line. So right now you got Miami at +3. If Pittsburgh gets the ball on their first possession, marches down the field and scores a touchdown, it's going to be Miami +7.5, 8. Yeah. Time to bet. That's what I'm interested in, right? Is that type of concept. Both teams score touchdowns on their first drive, 7-7. We have 14 with 4 minutes to go. Under is going to be 51.5. We know that they game plan those first two possessions. We know that that's when they're going to be at their best. So, in-game bettors want the first two drives to be touchdowns every single time. And then every single time you just take the under. Like, don't try to get too cute here. Like, it always seems to come back to the means. I mean, how many times do you have over 51 and you got 31 at half, 34 at half, 34 at half? You're like, I need 17 points. And then with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, you're like, WTF?
That's so true.
It always seems to, not always, but it finds its way back to the line. And this works brilliantly in the NBA. If you can grab the runs, right? You got a team that goes on a 20-2 run, bet the other side. Their 17-6 run is about to happen.
It's so very true. I love live betting basketball for sure. College basketball is a lot of fun as well. Prez, what have you got for sale over on WagerTalk.com for us right now?
Well, I got an NFL play for you guys. I'm actually rolling right now in NFL, Joe. I had a 4-1 day yesterday. I won my 5% play. Yeah. I have an NHL play, which I'm going to give out for free just because, 271 of you guys took time to log on and hang out with us. I don't even know. I hope the game hasn't gone off. Might have gone off, which would be pointless to give out for free then. No, it has not, and that is the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Jets are -130 against Ottawa tonight. And guys, I'm telling you now, this Winnipeg team is a bet-on team for the next 4 games, not one, not just tonight. When you watch how I bet hockey, I really try to find the rhythm of teams. And when you look at Edmonton, 2 years in a row, couldn't get going, 5-15 to start. The world is crashing in on them. Connor sucks. They're not going anywhere, and then they're in the finals. Yeah. Winnipeg is similar to that. This Winnipeg team is a really good hockey team, Joe. They don't have greats on their team, but they are so well built, all 6D, all 12 forwards, and Connor is back there in goal, and this is his second game. They just played Washington. They won 5-1. It was probably, they outshot Washington offhand 35-25. It was probably their best game of the year. And now they're playing an Ottawa team, which, by the way, guys, I think you should bet Ottawa the next 3 games after tonight. So Ottawa lost last game. They're going to lose tonight. And then I think Ottawa wins their next 3. So there's some hockey info for you guys. And I'm looking to bet Edmonton flat out tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. I'm looking to bet. I'm looking to bet Edmonton every single night until the end of the year.
I have to ask you, what do you think of the switching of Tristan Jarry and Stuart Skinner from the Penguins to the Oilers and vice versa?
Well, I mean, from a Pittsburgh Penguins perspective, this team is such a mess. Like, why Sidney Crosby is even on this team. And it's weird because you look at Sidney Crosby and you're like, man, this guy is a winner. He's got 3 cups. He's got an Olympic gold medal. He's got 4 nations. He's got this. He's got that. I know from me that I could not go through a year of losing. Like if I had 10 Stanley Cup rings in my 11th year, I couldn't go through a year of losing. So Sidney Crosby is now going through year 4 or 5 of just constant losing, and yet he remains on that team. I don't know what that says about Sidney. I know for me, I would be vomiting. Like I would be like absolutely vomote everywhere. If I was ending my, the last 4 or 5 years of my career, like why he's not in Colorado winning a cup with his good pal Nate blows my mind. So from Pittsburgh's perspective, who cares who's in goal? From Edmonton's perspective, what do they got, a Band-Aid? Like,
doesn't it feel like goalies that go to Edmonton are the same as quarterbacks that go to the Jets? Like, doesn't it feel like the same thing?
No. You got Grant Fuhr, you got Andy Moog, you got Bill Ranford, those 3 Hall of Fame goaltenders, and those 3 goaltenders are better than any goalie the Leafs have had in the last 40 years.
Okay, that's true. But I'm thinking current.
Okay, well, why don't we find out? Why don't they trade Zach Hyman back to Toronto for Anthony Stolarz, and let's find out, because that should have been the trade.
Yeah,
that would have made sense. Going and getting Jari, whatever. Yeah. So, yes, but I want to tell everybody I have a 5% play that's going up tonight for next Sunday, and that's going to be my favorite ATS bet of the entire year. And Joe, I'm 11-3 in ATS bets on the year. 11-3, like on the whole year. That's unbelievable. And yeah, Jari is inconsistent. But the interesting thing about Jari is he only has 5 playoff appearances. It's not like, they've made so many mistakes. Why didn't they pick up Fleury? Like, why didn't they go after the Dallas goalie, Ottinger? Like,
that would have been deadly, right?
Yeah, like I don't understand what Edmonton is doing, but you know what? I don't care.
Just they need to make you money. However they're going to make you money, they're going to make you money this month, and that's exactly what we need to know, Prez. So thanks so much for joining us here. Good luck with Miami tonight.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate doing this show. Lots of love, everybody. Thanks for watching, and check us all out on the End Zone Live on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Later.
We'll see you there. Thanks, Prez. Enjoy the hill. Okay, guys, that was the Prez. Make sure you go over and check out all of those plays that he has up for you guys on WagerTalk.com. So many great packages and specials happening right now. You don't want to miss out on those sales that are going on. But we're going to bring Tom Viola in. We're talking this Monday night football game, wrapping up week 15. Hard to believe it is December 15th. You guys drop those questions, drop those comments. We're going to get into side total and props. So drop those prop questions as well, but let's bring in Tom.
Hey. Feels weird bringing myself on these.
It's awesome that you're bringing yourself on. I appreciate your time today talking this Monday Night Football game, week 15. It was a crazy Sunday. What was your biggest takeaway from yesterday?
I mean, the Chiefs' black magic finally ran out. That's got to be the biggest headline for everybody. And now we got to start asking the question, how soon is Patrick Mahomes ready for next season? What's this Chiefs? This is people were already drawing the comparisons to how Brady had his 3 Super Bowls, had his knee injury and missed what was an entire season, but he got hurt in week 1. Brady took a long time between that first part of his career and winning those Super Bowls and winning the rest of them. This Chiefs team is probably going to be going into teardown mode. Not necessarily right away, but at some point you have to start saying, okay, we need to fix the offensive line. The defense's play has started to slip. Your receiving core, how good really are the guys that you have? How much longer is Travis Kelce going to play?
It's an old team.
It's going to be something. I mean, J-Dog saying Mahomes is done, too old for an ACL. That's not true anymore. The medical technology, the amount of modern medicine has come back. I mean, Kirk Cousins is playing at a reasonable level.
Just played on Sunday, so he's 44, a lot older than Patrick Mahomes out there. I want to also ask, okay, so we've got feel crush for Mahomes. I absolutely feel crushed William as well for Mahomes. As a Chargers fan, I wanted the Chargers to get the win, but not like that yesterday. That game was over and done with. Like at that point, Mahomes got hurt, but it's not the way you wanted the Chargers to be able to get the win. Kelsey's cooked. What do you think? I think Kelsey's done. I think he's going to run off into the sunset. Any thoughts, Tom?
I mean, I can't imagine why he wouldn't. You've got what's going to be a long season next year. No guarantee that Mahomes is ready for week 1. Do I think he's going to play next year? Absolutely. Mahomes is going to play next year, but he's going to miss all of the offseason at the very least, I would have to say. For Kelsey, I'm marrying my $1.6 billion pop star, mega celebrity fiance next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go play a sport where I get beat in the head every day for a living anymore. I couldn't imagine him getting up and saying, this is what I want to sign up for. Not another Super Bowl run, but a mediocre year next year. Yeah. At some point, you got to say, okay, let's go and enjoy some other things in life.
Oh, absolutely. Now, William also stated the fact this is the window for Josh Allen. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, they need to take advantage. They absolutely do. You think they're
good enough? They're not that good of a team either.
No.
If anything, this is the year. If you're betting if you're trying to find some value in the futures market in the NFL this season right now, this is a really, really good time to be doing it because you have so much more upside. There isn't a single team, even the Rams aren't a team that you look at and you go, yes, they are the dark horse. They are the overwhelming favorite and the lock to win this. You have a lot of room down the board, in my opinion. I think that there are a lot of teams in this playoff hunt that you can look at that are a little bit higher on that plus money side. Guys, it's not out of the question the Jaguars are in the Super Bowl.
What Trevor Lawrence did this past weekend was absolutely crazy. 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. He was unbelievable out there on the field. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, Tom. That was nuts.
I mean, the flip side of that, it's the same thing with the Vikings playing the Cowboys. Is some people went out and were like, oh, JJ McCarthy looks good. And other people went out and were like, we've watched the Cowboys defense the last 15 weeks. That's what's going on here. This was more the Jets are bad than it is that I'm ready to crown Jacksonville. That being said, Trevor Lawrence has looked good. Jacoby Myers has fit really well into that team. You don't have Travis Hunter. He's hurt, but Brian Thomas Jr. is still there. And your defense is good. The Jaguars are a solid team. And in this AFC playoff race, there's a path for a solid team that's a little further down the board to go out and make a run to a Super Bowl. And quite frankly, you only have to get there to have money to have value on the game. And then from there, you can kind of you can kind of play it however you want. Even if you get there and you say, okay, well, they are playing the Rams and the Rams are so much better. You can hedge off of that. You can take some Rams. You can build a nice middle for yourself. There are things that you can do to kind of play with that once you have that ticket. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna hunt for value, it's not about just saying, oh, this team is 7-1. There's value on that because it's 7-1. No, I think this team that's 12-1 should be 7-1. And those are the kind of teams that you want to pick up, the teams that you think, okay, maybe they're not going to win it, but they have a shot. And this is a really good year for that because there's no one that's that good.
Yeah, you're so true. There's so many teams that I would have thought would have been playing stronger. Loving, though, what we're seeing out of the Denver Broncos, even with the Patriots lost yesterday, loving what we're seeing out of them. And then we know that huge matchup coming up, Thursday Night Football, kicking off Week 16, the Rams and Seattle. That's going to be a great one. But we got to finish up Week 15 here. The Miami Dolphins, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is this one that you're running to turn on tonight, Tom? Like, does this get you excited? Even though
I'm going to the gym,
right?
I'm going to the gym. I'm not interested in watching this game, to be honest with you. Plus, I'm superstitious about my first touchdown bets. I don't watch until there's been a touchdown scored because we hit a couple of those early in the season. Yeah. The luck definitely has not kept going. We got roasted with the Cowboys game last night. I think I had bets for first touchdown for the second, third, fourth, and fifth touchdown scorers. That felt phenomenal.
Oh, that would hurt. That definitely would have hurt. Okay, so let's look at this game. Let's break it down. Let's try to find a way to make some money on this. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, we are seeing a couple 3.5s out there. The majority of the books do have this at a solid 3. With the Steelers, the favorite. Mike Tomlin, I'm not sure how you feel about laying points with him at home. I love him as a home dog. Love him as a dog on the road. I get kind of leery, but I laid it. With Pittsburgh, I know Prez is grabbing Miami plus the points. He got plus the 3.5. Where do you sit on the side?
I mean, I'm watching the market move right now as we're talking. We're starting to see some 3s pop up at some sharper shops, which tell me, I mean, we've got some money. We've got some Dolphins money coming in real late here at the end. I know Prez was just talking about that, how if you wanted the 3, that number's gone. It's back now all of a sudden right after this.
Yeah.
And if I was to take this, I mean, we've got some -3, -115s out there. If you're here in Vegas, South Point has a -110, and it is okay. We can talk about these are legal, regulated sports books in the U.S.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm saying 3 -115 is the best that I'm seeing on the Steelers. On the other side with the Dolphins, you got some 3.5s where you're getting that hook out there. Personally, I lean Steelers. My own just firing from the hip. I think the Steelers are a bad good team, whereas the Dolphins are a good bad team.
Yeah.
And I think that some of that runs out here tonight. I think that this Steelers team is going to be able to just kind of control the game and do what they want on the offensive side of the ball, because this Miami defense isn't good. But credit to Mike McDaniel for not getting this team to where they are and how they haven't given up on him as their coach. Does he make it through the offseason? I don't know. He could be in a postseason firing, but
it feels like he's never leaving. It feels like he's going to be forever coaching the Miami Dolphins. Like he's going to be Pete Carroll's age, and you're still going to see him in his capris and his sunglasses out there on the sideline. So that's what I'm thinking here. But looking at this total, I trust the Steelers to get some points on the board, because you mentioned the defense here of Miami. Can Miami get some as well? I think Tua can. 42.5. It's flying up to 43. Are you looking at a total?
I'm not really looking at the total because I don't like weather games. I don't like trying to handicap these weather games right now. Right now in Pittsburgh, according to the internet, if we have anyone in the chat that's in Pittsburgh, feel free to correct me. We got 16 degrees. We have 6-mile-an-hour winds, and no, it's not gonna snow or anything like that. I know that we saw Miami practicing out there in the snow this week. I'd probably take an over in this one if I had to look at it, just because I think that this total is a little low based on the wrong things. No TJ Watt. The defense for Pittsburgh is going to be a little more suspect here. It's going to be a cold game, but cold doesn't, as much as the narrative about Miami, warm weather team and all that, cold isn't usually the problem. Wind is the problem. And there's not much wind going down in Pittsburgh right now. That's what normally affects your offense. That's what normally can throw off with a rhythm, and you're not going to deal with that. So I don't think that this is necessarily going to be one of those ugly snow games where we're running the ball 55 times a game. I think this is one where the passing attacks are going to be able to go out and do what they want to do. And you've got some 41.5s out there, and you've got some 42s and 43s. Go find the 41.5. If you're going to take the over, that's where you want to go on this one. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at this one going 24-21, so just going over that total and hitting right on that number of 3. So it's going to be interesting to see where it falls. Talking about those passing props, Aaron Rodgers coming up with 216.5 for his passing prop. Tua, 196.5. Now, if Tua can go over that, we've seen some big passes out of him down the field, but 196.5, is it a little heavy here for Tua?
Normally 196.5 is going to be one of those that I start looking at a bit of an over. I've got him at 208. So I'm like, it's not quite enough where I want to go and bet it, but I would lean over.
Okay. What about, you want to look at some receiving props? We got Jalen Waddle. If you're looking at Tua to the over, I liked Waddle over the 63.5 when I first looked at it. He's got 816 receiving yards on the season. He's got 6 receiving touchdowns. I think he's that top look out there for Tua. Is 63.5 something within your range? I think for me, it is. I think Waddle should be able to get there.
I don't have him going over in this one. I've got this one pretty much right in line with the market. So it's just, I'm just not interested in taking it. I will say my favorite receiving prop of the night, Adam Thielen under 1.5 receptions.
No, I've got Adam Thielen to get in the end zone tonight. I need him to get at least 2 receptions from Aaron Rodgers. Why are you fading Thielen out there?
I mean, you're getting plus 120 at DraftKings on it. That's a good deal right there. And he's A, old as dirt, B, just joined the team 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they were talking about getting him more involved in the offense, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw to guys that he doesn't know. And
this is true.
Yeah, if you want value tonight, especially in the touchdown scores, I'm finding that tight ends are really going to be the way to go here. Derek Carty and I talk on Fridays on our show all the time about the Pittsburgh usage of their tight ends. I think that this game projects out as more of a Washington game than a Pat Freiermuth game, but I'm not 1,000% sure on that because they use Washington when they play a 4-3. Washington gets more usage against 4-3 defenses. Freiermuth gets more run against the 3-4s. And so it's kind of a one or the other situation. But that being said, I'm liking the tight ends all the way around the board in this one. I think there's a little bit of value on Darren Waller overs. I even have Greg Dulcich for first touchdown.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. I like where you're going with that. If you're looking at both of those tight ends, Washington and Freiermuth, they're both at plus 430, you guys. So great value there. But Tom, anything else that you're liking in this one before we wrap it up?
Well, I have one bet that I'm not really liking that I already took earlier in the week, which was Jaylen Warren over his carries total. And then we find out today the man's sick and he's going to play anyway. And I was like, oh, that's so much worse. I'd rather you just not play and void my bet and give it back to me. But now I'm going to have to sweat this one out.
Oh, man. What did you get his number at?
13.5.
Okay. It's still sitting there. I'm surprised the books haven't moved it with news that he's not feeling well. So still sitting there at 13.5. Do you think they kind of put those storylines out there to like sway you off players at all? Because sometimes I feel like it. You remember Justin Herbert, not this week, but last week with that surgery on his hand. No one thought he was going to run. He ran for the most yards he's ever ran in a game. They planned for him to run in that game. It was crazy. Yep. So you could be crazily on the money here with him being sick.
Yeah, it would be really nice if that's what happens and they just give him a ton of work. I mean, the game projects out for it. You're a slight favorite. It's a cold weather game. You're probably going to be running the ball a decent amount. It's my hope that they're just like, we're just going to ground pound it. And Jaylen Warren got a really nice IV before the game, so he feels great. That's my hope.
I am sure it's going to play out exactly that way because I think so many people will stop pulling the trigger on him and get off it late. But Tom, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Last Call for the primetime preview. Just one comment here before we go. Achan coming off a rib injury as well. That actually, in cold weather, that's a big impact.
That's not fun. Speaking as someone who has had that happen, that is not a fun time at all. Oh, God. I'm playing against A-Chain in one of my fantasy leagues, and I desperately need him to stay under 20 points. So if he plays one quarter and goes, you know what, I'm good. I can't go tonight. I would not be upset at that at all.
Yeah, I'd be careful with Achan with that rib injury for sure. But Tom, crush the books tonight. Enjoy watching at the gym, maybe on that gym TV there. But best of luck in your first touchdown, please.
Thank you so much, Joe. Been a pleasure.
Thank you. You guys, that is Tom Viola from WagerTalk Picks and Parlays. Make sure you check out everything he's got going on. You want to check out that prop show that he puts out on a Friday. It is a ton of fun. Randy, I see you there with Adam Thielen for the anytime. Toddy, I'm with you. I got it at plus 800, and I do think he's going to get some looks from Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, I completely am with Tom in the fact that Rodgers, he has the guys that he trusts. But I think DK Metcalf is going to get covered in this one by the defense here of the Dolphins. And I think you look at Adam Thielen at plus 800. I couldn't say no to his anytime tutty. I'm hoping with an extra week out there of practice with Rodgers might have that trust in Adam Thielen out there. At plus 800, it was worth a sprinkle. Now, I wasn't able to, and I searched a whole bunch of books, you guys. His receptions, yes, it's sitting at 1.5. You can take that to the over or the under based on what you think. He could get 1 reception. So Tom and I both could hit because Tom's taking him under 1.5 receptions. I just need that reception to be in the end zone. But I wasn't able to get him for his receiving props. I looked at a bunch of books, the books that I can bet on here, and I was only able to get him for that anytime tutty. So you guys, let us know what you're betting in this game. I want to hear it below this video, everything that you're liking out there in this Monday Night Football game and what your biggest takeaway was from week 15 and what you're thinking going into week 16, what teams you're really high on, which teams you're selling on. I'm with Tom, where the Kansas and Prez with the Kansas City Chiefs. How are they favored again? I don't trust Gardner Minshew. He's going to turn that ball over. Betting those interceptions looking at next week. And Anthony, their Colts upset the 49ers next week. I would love to see it. You guys, if you don't know, I'm a Chargers fan. Rivers is behind there on my wall. There's a Colts helmet hanging out there as well. And lots of stuff going on my wall. But I'm totally with Phillip Rivers. I hope he's able to get it done. Hanging tight in that game with Seattle. But, you know, that was really a look ahead for Seattle to the Rams on Thursday Night Football. And we're going to be here on Thursday Night Football for your primetime preview last call. So make sure you guys turn on the notification bell so you know when we go live. We will be going live, though, at 7 p.m. Eastern, right before the game kicks off. Going over the sides, totals, the props, everything that you need to know before we go into that game. But you guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you so much for being here on a Monday night, hanging out with me before this game kicks off. We will be back again on Thursday, so we'll see you then. Until then, you guys, stay hot and let's make some freaking money.